The Sportscaster and her son is brought to you by Foot First Podiatry. Painful bunions? Then it's time to get your bunion fixed with Foot First Podiatry's exclusive Sklar bunionectomy. No scars, no cast, no crutches, no kidding. For more information about the Sklar bunionectomy, visit footfirst.com. And by electri-flex, a global leader in electrical conduit for over 60 years, makers of Liquidite flexible conduit, electrically connecting our world. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sportscaster and Son. Let's try it again. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sportscaster and her son, where sports bridges the gap between the generations. I'm your host, Peggy Kaczynski, 12-time Emmy Award-winning sportscaster at NBC Chicago for 17 years. I'm the baby boomer. I'm the mom, and apparently I can't talk.
And I'm Jason Commander, Generation Z, student at UT Austin. I'm an honor talent for TSTV Sports. I just got completely crossed up my mind.
This is one of those mini episodes,
Friday,
right?
Friday.
It's a mini episode that we are taping on a Friday, and we're both feeling it. So this is one of those short but sweet episodes where we answer me this. We ask a question, and we hopefully get some answers. This time, Jason, this is a question that comes up every single year in Chicago, and we're going to throw it out there again. Answer me this. Who will win more games this year, the Cubs or the Sox?
This is an easy one. This is an incredibly easy question. I'm going to say that the White Sox are going to win 98 games. I think that the Jimenez injury hurts them a little bit, but unlike past Sox teams, it's not like one injury is going to totally sink the ship. And if you were to have to pick one of the White Sox superstars to get hurt, Jimenez is – you don't want anyone to get hurt, but Jimenez you'd rather lose Jimenez than lose Abreu or Grandal or Anderson or Giolito or Keuchel, because then that would really screw a lot of things up. But that's besides the point. Sox are going to win, I'm going to say, anywhere between 95 and 102 games. The Cubs, on the other hand, I think are going to be really bad. People love to look at the Cubs and be like, oh, they still have Baez, Bryant, Rizzo. That's great. Congratulations. The pitching staff is genuinely one of, if not the absolute worst in baseball. It's literally Kyle Hendricks, and that's it. The bullpen, the Cubs didn't even have a good bullpen when they won the World Series. I can't tell you the last time the Cubs had a good bullpen. The Cubs are going to be so interesting to watch this year. If they start winning games and start trading pieces around, I think that they could make the playoffs. As always, with that lineup, they're always trying to make the playoffs. But the rotation is just so bad. I think that the Cubs win anywhere between 72 and 80 games.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, you can't get over the pitching staff. Jake Arrieta isn't half of what he was a couple of years ago. And with how home run prone he is in today's baseball, it's going to be Kyle Hendricks completely carrying the rotation.
All right, so my answer is completely going to be based on numbers, because we know everything that the White Sox have done to their roster. We know how stacked that roster is. The pitching staff is deep. Those are all, yes. The Cubs, I believe, have more unknowns. And the Cubs, we know their roster because they've been around too long. That's one of my problems with them. So I'm going to base it on the numbers. So in last year's 60-game season, due to the pandemic, the Cubs had 34 wins. The Sox had 35. That's a 56% win percentage for the Cubs, which would have equated to a 90-win season, which I think surprises a lot of people. For the Sox, that's a 58% winning percentage. And that actually equates to 93.9 wins. So I am going to say, boy, this is hard. The last full season in 2019, the Cubs had 84 wins. And the Sox had 72. My gut keeps telling me to say the Cubs will have 80 wins. So I'm going to go with 80 wins. I won't be surprised if they get up to 82, but there's no way they're going to win more than 82 games. I think that obviously with the arrow pointing up for the White Sox and what they could have had 93.9 wins in a shortened season last year, I'm going to.
They only got better.
I know, and they got better. They got better. So here's my question now. So can they top the 95 wins of the 2000 season? 2005, 99 wins?
I think it can.
I think it's going to. You think so? I think it's going to be somewhere in between. So I am going to say they're going to have a 96 win season, which would be 16 better than the Cubs. Wow.
Whew.
Right? So, all right. What do you say we reach out to some friends and see what they think?
Oh, let's do it.
This is Paul Sullivan from the Chicago Tribune. I have the Cubs with 82 wins. I have the Sox with 85 wins. I think the Sox would have been a better team had Eloy not injured himself, but life goes on. Talk to you.
Hi, this is Richard Roeper with the Chicago Sun-Times. The question is, who's going to win more games this year, the Cubs or the Sox? It's actually a lot closer than I think a lot of folks are saying. Everybody's really down on the Cubs, and the expectations for my beloved White Sox are maybe just a little bit too high. But I still think the Sox will win more games than the Cubs. I see the White Sox as very similar to the 2015 Cubs, a very good team that might need one more full season to really gel. They will make the postseason, I think, again this year, and that'll be the first time in White Sox history they've made the postseason back-to-back. I don't see them going all the way. I do see them winning 90 games for the White Sox. As for the Cubs, I know they're a team kind of in transition. The 2016 World Series seems like a million years away, I know, especially for a lot of Cubs fans, but they still got that great core talent. They got some good arms. I see them winning 81 games. I see them as a 500 ball club. A lot of excitement on both sides of town, though. There's a lot of talent. I think there's going to be a lot of close games. And when the Sox and Cubs play each other, we're going to have fans in the stands, which is also really cool as well.
This is Dan Roan from WGN. That seems to be a no-brainer, don't you think? I'm going to go White Sox because they have much better players and far better pitching than the Cubs do. So let's give the Sox 94, even without Eloy for the year, and let's give the Cubs 81.
Hi, Peggy and Jason. This is Mark Potash from the Chicago Sun-Times. As a native Chicagoan who was born on the south side and raised on the north side and grew up a diehard fan of both teams, I feel very qualified to participate in this, so thank you. I have the White Sox with 86 wins this year, the Cubs with 84. I just feel the White Sox are going to struggle a little bit to meet expectations, especially with some fans in the stands. I think you feel the weight of that a little bit more. And I'm also a little dubious about their resurgence last season when they were 18-2 against the Tigers and Royals and 7-13 against the Twins and Indians. The Cubs, on the other hand, I think the bar has been lowered enough so that some of their players who have struggled to meet those same high expectations, I think will be able to breathe a little bit easier, and I think they'll just have a little bit better season. So I know the White Sox in Vegas are like at 90.5 wins. The Cubs are at 78.5 wins, their totals, and I just feel like the way both teams respond, they might end up just meeting in the middle.
Hey, this is John Greenberg from The Athletic. I'm the lead columnist and the founding editor in Chicago. And, originally when I posted a prediction in one of my columns for the season, I had the White Sox winning 91 games, Cubs winning 87, both making the playoffs. I will say the first weekend has been a little concerning. So I'm gonna lop off a couple wins there and go with the White Sox with 89 wins. I'm going to go to the Cubs with 86 wins. The White Sox by far were the most troubling team. Maybe it was just because they were on so late. People were having nightmares about their defense, and then Tim Anderson's injury, and then a few other little things. But I still think they're both going to be good, and I think it's going to be a fun summer, but I don't think it's quite going to be dreams of a City World Series. You know, like Lou Piniella said, we get a little too giggly here in Chicago when one of our teams is good, and I think we're all maybe a little too giggly about the White Sox before the season. Still think they're going to be good. Still think both teams challenge for the playoffs and division titles, but we'll see what happens.
All right, so there we go. Let the arguments begin with the North and the South Side baseball fans in Chicago. It's leaning pretty heavy one way, though. The optimism is high for Sox fans and those covering the teams, and there's a lot of pessimism on the North Side. So it's going to be interesting. Jason, no predictions since this is a mini episode. No closing thoughts either, so I say it's springtime. Baseball is here. Get out and enjoy the weather, right?
Let's do it.
All right. Take care.
You as well.
The Sportscaster and Her Son is brought to you by electri-flex, a global leader in electrical conduit for over 60 years, electrically connecting our world. And by Foot First Podiatry. It's time to get your bunion fixed with Foot First Podiatry's exclusive Sklar bunionectomy. No visual scars, no casts, no crutches, no kidding. Visit footfirst.com. Hey everybody, it's Peggy. Thanks for watching this episode of The Sportscaster and Her Son. Do me a favor, click subscribe.